Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Laura, and this is a guided meditation on working with things as they are, even when we don't like the way things are, right? As is so often the case. So let's just start by making ourselves comfortable. Whether you're seated or lying down, I want you to find a posture that feels supported for you so that your body doesn't feel like it's stressed out in terms of having to stay upright or be comfortable. But also, if you can, a posture that feels a little bit like you're able to stay present or awake as we work through the next few moments together. If you're able to keep your eyes open comfortably, you might give that a try today. Or if you need to close them, that's okay too, of course. And then we'll start just by acknowledging sort of the circumstances of our body as it is right now. And we can start by feeling the body as it sits or rests against the floor or the chair or whatever it is you're using for support. Take a moment or two and see if you can connect to the feeling of the hips settling in. Sometimes we might find that there's this little quality of waiting for something to happen, like a readiness to get up and go. But for a few moments now, we're just practicing looking at things as they are, with honesty and with kindness. So for this amount of time at least, can you let the legs be a little heavy? Maybe if you're lying down, let the shoulders, the back, and the head be a little bit heavy. And if you're leaning against some support, see if you can really feel that support underneath you. Acknowledging that no matter what else is going on, we have gravity. Gravity holds us. As much as we can count on anything, we can count on this law of gravity. And then see if you can take in any quality of texture, whatever it is that your fingers might be touching, or if you can feel something against your skin. So I'm feeling the texture of the material of my leggings right now. I'm also feeling the air around me, the temperature. It's a little cool in the room here this morning, so I can feel that. Just noticing what becomes present when we bring our awareness to what does my skin feel or notice. And then we'll take that awareness a little bit further if you like. If your eyes are open, you might look around the room and see, with honesty and kindness, see what's here. Now, as I look around the room, I see some things that I like. I see some things that make me happy. And I also see some things that I wish were just a little bit different. See if you can acknowledge what it is that you're seeing with honesty and kindness. So we're not trying to push away our experience. We're just saying, okay, that's how that is right now. And if there is something that you don't like, you might also see, can I find something that I do like as I look around the room? Is there something that feels at least a little bit neutral that I can pay attention to right now? Now you can stay with these things, this feeling of external touch, sensation coming in from the outside, what your eyes are able to see. Or maybe now you're starting to expand your awareness to hear. What is it that your ears can hear? I can hear the plumber in the shop next door loading things onto a truck. I can hear the background hum of the fluorescent lights above me. I can hear the sounds of my voice. What can you hear right now in your body? If you're able to hear today, what can you hear? Notice as we take in this experience that there will be things that are more or less pleasant. Maybe there's a crying baby, a barking dog, something that reminds you of something you don't like. Maybe you can hear your computer telling you you've got email and that feels stressful. Notice what's present. Notice what comes up for you. Maybe it feels quiet and that feels unpleasant. or stressful or uncomfortable in some way. See if you can just notice, and then see what else there is to notice. Now we can continue to work with the layers that we've worked with so far: sensation, sound, vision, or we might drop a little bit deeper and start to pay attention to what our breathing feels like today. If this feels stressful in any way, please don't do it. Just go back to one of the other things and work with that instead. If it does feel okay to bring your awareness to your breath now, you might just start to notice the inhale and the exhale. Maybe feeling them at the nose. And for today, if it's possible, see if you can keep the breath a little bit light and soft and through the nose, if it's possible. Light and soft breath through the nose. And for just a moment or two, noticing, what's my breath like today? If you've never paid attention to your breath before, you may find some interesting things here. If this is something you do regularly, there may be something to notice, like you're comparing it to another experience. See if you can just be aware of whatever your experience is with honesty, so just really truthfully noticing, curiosity, being open to whatever the experience is, and a lot of kindness. So if the breath is coming a little bit difficult today, or you have allergies, or you've been unwell, or breathing is hard, then there's a lot of compassion around that as we notice what it's like to breathe. And maybe if you find that the breathing feels pretty good today, you're able to appreciate that and feel good about that. You can stay here for a while if you like, or we can drop a little bit deeper and start to explore our more inner circumstances. And we'll stick with body sensations for now. You might drop inside and see, are there any parts of my body where I feel aches or pains? Is my trick knee acting up? Or do you have a condition that you work with where you feel a lot of pain regularly? See if you can just check in and notice whatever it is that your body is experiencing here. Honesty, curiosity, and a lot of kindness too, right? So just seeing what's here. Now, as we get into some of the more sort of personal layers of this, you might start to feel a little bit like there's a narrative or a storyline that goes with it. You might start to feel a little carried away, like all of this is the fault of blah, 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 or my brother dropped me on my head when I was little and it's all his fault, or whatever the storyline is. If you notice that there's a storyline coming up, see if you can notice, maybe even smile about it if you can, and then see if you can just set that aside for now and work with the more sort of raw input of what is my body feeling? What information am I receiving from my body? If it's difficult to tell, you might check in and see, do I feel hungry? Do I feel thirsty? Do I feel like I am well rested today? Do I feel a little bit tired? And sometimes there's something inside of us that is waiting to be met with this kindness, with this asking, just this turning inward and saying, how am I? Sometimes there's something inside of us that's been waiting to be heard. So see what you find as you look inside. Without story, without judgment, if possible, with as little judgment as possible. Kindness, but honesty too. If there's anything in your experience that feels good, see if you can take a moment or two just to notice that. Or neutral. Is there anything that feels like there's not much there at all to feel right now? Maybe let that feel good, especially if pain or a lot of sensation is something that you're used to. See what it feels like to feel a little bit less somewhere. Like, I don't feel much in my inner right elbow today. Just noticing. Now, if you like, we can take this one layer deeper and start to examine our more psycho-emotional experience. Or you could say to yourself, how's my heart today? How's my mind? What's my emotional state feel like? If this is difficult to tune into, you might say, am I in a good mood? Am I in a bad mood? Is today a day that I have patience? We don't really need to ask why, although as we examine some of the other layers leading into this deeper one, we may have found some answers. We may have discovered some reasons. But rather than trying to construct a rationale, see if you can just see what information is here. We're just gathering data here. What's it like inside me right now? What's it like to be me? Just today. And here too, there's honesty and kindness and curiosity, if you can. Curiosity means that we're not looking for anything to be wrong, and if we find something that we don't like, we're just acknowledging, like, that's how that is right now. This doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's really normal to have different feelings and emotions. It just means that we're looking and acknowledging and making space for what we find. And here too, sometimes there's something inside of us that has been waiting to be acknowledged. Just like a crying child that will ask for our attention until we give it. Sometimes that something inside feels better when we validate or even just notice, oh, I'm feeling some pain around this, or oh, I didn't realize that I was still feeling sad about such and such. So this just looking can be really deeply healing in and of itself. It's really likely, it's more likely than not that as we've worked through the past 10 moments or so, you have found some things in your experience that you don't like. I've found things in my experience I don't like. I'm not asking you to try to like them. What I'm asking you to do is just notice that they're there and see if you can allow things to be just the way that they are, just for now. As we rest here for another moment or two, you may notice that your experience has already begun to change. Simply looking changes things sometimes, doesn't it? You might also find, if you were to listen, the sounds in the room might be different. The sensations in your body might be different. You may find that you feel different. For this last moment together now, we're just going to take in the total experience. If your eyes are open, you can see with your eyes what it's like to be in the room you're in. With your hands or your skin, maybe with your feet, can you feel the air? Or whatever it is that you're in contact with. Can you feel the support of your chair or the floor? Can you notice that you're breathing, if that feels okay? Can you notice your internal experience? The physical internal experience and the deeper sort of experience of the heart or the psyche. Take a moment or two just to let everything be just the way that it is in this moment. Just like the weather, our experience changes moment by moment, breath by breath. Can you let this moment be just as it is right now? When you feel ready, if you've had your eyes closed, you might blink them open. It might feel good now to shrug or turn your head or move around a little bit. And then we're ready to move on with whatever comes next in your day. I know that 15 minutes can be a big chunk of time to take for yourself, so I really want to congratulate you on making it this far in the meditation. You can do any piece of this meditation anytime you like, just by noticing what's here with me now. Or you can return and do the full 15 minutes whenever you're able. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to being with you again soon. Be well.